Hi, this is Lonya with another StarCraft 2 commentary, and this time we've got a Protoss against a Zerg, and we've got some dude that I don't know what his name is because it's in Korean as the pink Protoss, and we've got jookToJung, who's a Zerg player, and he's been in the GSL as the blue Zerg, and jookToJung's been in both GSLs, first one and the second one, got knocked out in the round of 32 of the first GSL and the round of 64 of the second GSL. Both times he got knocked out it was by a Terran, so it'll be interesting to see how he managed to do against the Protoss in this match, and the guys just having a little chat to each other in Korean. No idea what they're talking about. This game's got a few observers, so it's kind of an organised game, not quite sure what it was for or anything. But so far neither player doing anything particularly interesting. And at the moment Zerg, since the most recent patch, has kind of been a bit better off in the game than it was before, having a bit of an easier time against various things, especially things like Protoss cannons. So with the extra roach range it's kind of easier to defend against cannons, and some Protosses have tried to kind of go for some kind of fast expand builds, getting a forge up, building some cannons, which hasn't always been successful, but sometimes that's due to the Protoss just being useless. Like there was a couple of games in the GSL where one of the Protosses decided to try and fast expand against the Zerg and managed to block his own Nexus with a cannon, so that was pretty poor. But we'll have to see if the Protoss in this game decides to go for a fast expand, because you've got a kind of easy to take natural behind your base, and it's just his one ramp that goes up, so he might decide to try and do that, and he's not put down a gateway yet, so he may very well decide to put down a forge first and then go for that fast expansion. And the Zerg over here, jookToJung, just getting his gas down slightly after his pull, which is fairly standard, not going for a fast hatchery, but it does look like we're going to have a fast Nexus from the Protoss player, which is kind of what you might expect if he wants to go for a heavy economic game, but it's also kind of risky, especially when he's seen here that there's no hatchery down at the moment for jookToJung. He is blocking it off with a probe in that back base, just kind of patrolling around, making sure that any drone that goes down there to try and play his hatchery can't make it. But it does seem like jookToJung's just going to kind of stick with this one base player at the moment, getting the spawning pool, and he might go for some early lings and try and put some pressure on the Protoss player. But at the moment, yep, he is getting some lings out now, just a couple with those eggs, and he's going to be able to take down this probe, which has now come back into his base just to scout what's going on, because there's nothing been sent down here to try and get a hatchery. So he kind of might be in a bit of a dangerous position, getting a forge and a gateway to block the top of his ramp, and he's going to have to get some cannons up fairly soon, because there are going to be some links popping out, and we can see a queen coming at the moment, but he's not getting too many links down, he's just getting one cannon up at the top. So we might see some roach play from jookToJung, because he sees that forge fast expand, he's seen that the Nexus has gone down, just getting his drone to give it a little light tap, and he's got a Zergling down here, just checking for any kind of proxy pylon that might come up, checking for anything that might be happening around the back of his base. But there's nothing going to be happening, because even the first gateway's not up yet for the Protoss. So just at the moment, jookToJung finally getting down that second hatchery quite late, and not really putting too much pressure on with Zerglings either, although there are a couple kind of wandering around the map, just going to take control of these Zelnaga watchtower so they can get some good vision on the map. But at the moment, this Protoss is having a pretty easy time of it. If we check the income tabs, they're both even on harvesters at the moment, but the Protoss is going to be able to kind of start pulling ahead now. He's got these two chrono boostable Nexi out, and jookToJung's second hatchery is still not up yet, although he's not producing too many Zerglings, just kind of focusing on the drones at the moment, so he is doing pretty well on that. And if we just check the production tab, more probes coming out, still no Zerglings for jookToJung, still no roach den down, so he's kind of not doing too much, not even got Zergling speed yet at the moment, so he's got a lot of gas, not got the Zergling speed, so it'll be interesting to see what he does decide to do. And jookToJung just taking that gas to the Protoss, but that might not be too much of a problem, because he does have these two gas at his second base, so losing this one in his main just going to give jookToJung a bit of more scouting information for a bit longer, keeping his drone up in the base. And it looks like the Protoss is going to probably go for quite a heavy economic game, and jookToJung really not doing too much, just droning up quite a lot, getting 5 drones out and only a few Zerglings. I'm not really too keen on this play by jookToJung, because he's not going to be able to get too much of an economic lead just taking out that zealot there that got into his base, because it's really difficult to take a third on this map. So it's going to be 2 base against 2 base, and really 2 base Protoss against 2 base Zerg. The Zerg is a bit behind, and he really needs to get kind of third base if he can, and just sticking down 2 Evo chambers. So it looks like he might possibly be going for some early upgrades and maybe a bit of pressure, but I'm not really completely sure. Still not got that Zergling speed, so maybe we'll see some kind of heavy roach play, but he's not got a roach den down either, and he's not got the layer upgrading, so he's not really doing too much at the moment to put kind of any pressure on, and just pretty much letting the Protoss player just do basically what he wants, getting a Stargate down now, so it looks like he might be going possibly for some Phoenix play. and Phoenix play can be pretty effective if you manage to just kind of control the air and control the overlords and take down overlords, just like you would with Corsairs in StarCraft Brood 1. He's getting 2 Stargates down, so it looks like he can get some heavy airplay off these 3 gas that he's got up, and trying to get that 4th gas in his base as well, just with the Zealot attacking it. So he's going to be able to go from 2 Stargates, pump quite a lot of Phoenixes out, and basically take complete air control, and that might force the Zerg to go towards some Hydralisks, so he can kind of try and help push away those Phoenixes, because Mutalisks against Phoenix doesn't really work. And we'll just have to see if jookToJung has seen the Stargates going down, and no, he hasn't seen the Stargates. So he doesn't know these Phoenixes are coming at the moment, and he really needs to get some scouting information on that. And yeah, we got the first Phoenix coming out, and that's halfway done. So it looks like he's going to put on some heavy air pressure, and then he might transition once he's forced Hydras out of the Zerg player into some kind of robotics play, or possibly Templar with Storm, and then you can basically just dominate the Hydralisks with those mass damage units like the Colossi and the High Templar once you've kind of forced it out of the Zerg. So we'll have to see whether he decides to go and just kind of get forced into Hydralisk, or whether he tries to kind of play a bit differently. Maybe get some Infestors out to try and shut down those Phoenixes, use a fungal growth on them, and basically stop them dead in their tracks and just let the Queens pick at them, and let any Mutalisks he might get out pick at them if he does decide to get a Spire. But he's still not even got that lair finished, and he's only just now getting the Roach one, which isn't done yet either. So basically he's playing a really economic game, but he's not really that far ahead, because he's only got 5 more Harvesters. The income's pretty much the same between both of them, and both players got 4 gas, so it's a pretty even game at the moment, and really the Zerg needs to kind of get an expansion up or something, get another hatcher in his base. Still that Roach Warren's not complete, so he's kind of a bit behind in terms of units, and basically the Protoss is being able to get away with this, just producing a lot of Phoenixes. I mean, quite often you just see someone produce, say, 5 Phoenixes, maybe off even 1 Stargate, and then just go around with them a bit, and that's kind of enough to kind of force the Zerg player to get some Hydralisks a bit. But at the moment it looks like he's just going to wait until he's massed up a lot of Phoenixes, and then just kind of go basically kind of all in with these Phoenixes and try and do as much damage as possible. And jookToJung still doesn't know about the Stargates, doesn't know about the Phoenixes, and we've got some cannons going down just for some extra defense at the back here, along with the Zealot in case some Zerglings try to come in. And we'll have to see what these Phoenixes manage to do, because he should be able to take down quite a few Overlords. And if we just check the unit count, he's got 7 Phoenixes out now, so even more being produced still against only a couple of Zerglings, which obviously can't do much. And now we've got Hydralisks on the way, so he knows something's going on. He's picking up that Queen, which is the only air defense. He's going to be able to hit down the Queen really easily. That's going to stop a lot of production from this hatchery, because he can't use the spawn larvae. He's taking out a lot of drones with these Phoenixes as well, so doing a lot of damage. And jookToJung's already now behind in terms of Harvesters, and picking up